And it looked like new information has been revealed about Caitlin Clark's future contract with the Indiana Fever.
Women's basketball regulations have already been rewritten by Clark. But what if I told you that her rookie contract might be harboring a revolutionary twist? The Indiana Fever recently revealed shocking new information regarding her future, and it's more than just numbers. It's a huge move for the WNBA. Could Clark break wage records and compel the league to completely alter its regulations? This narrative is about the WNBA's future rather than simply one individual. You will see why Clark's deal is causing a stir in the sports world by the end of this video.
Keep telling everybody, Caitlin Clark's new contract is already in the works, bruh. The Indiana Fever is not wasting no time with making sure they dot their I's and cross all the T's when it comes to keeping Caitlin Clark on this Indiana Fever basketball team.
The Indiana Fever are under pressure to secure Clark's future with the team because of her unquestionable impact on the WNBA. It's no secret that her rookie salary of just $76,535 is a small portion of what she is worth. The league is dealing with a reality that it has never encountered before. A single player who generates more revenue, attention, and buzz than entire teams combined. They may be working behind the scenes on a groundbreaking contract, according to recent leaks from the Fever's camp, but the worst part is that they're running into trouble because of antiquated league regulations.
We know she's still on a rookie contract for the next couple years. But one thing I can tell you that I know definitively is that the organization is working on a massive contract for Caitlin Clark's future contract, dog.
The figures are accurate. This season, Clark is accountable for 26% of all WNBA activity. Consider that a rookie straight out of college is carrying over a quarter of the league's revenue on her ERS. 1 in 6 tickets sold throughout the WNBA are directly linked to her name. She is more than just a player, she is a phenomenon, and the Fever know they cannot afford to lose her.
Now, we know Caitlin Clark is ultimately going to be the person to yay or nay whatever solution they come up with, so they got to do everything in their best interest to get ahead of this thing way before it ever comes up. So, word on the street is that the Indiana Fever is putting together proposals and putting together different things under the WNBA rules that they can for Caitlin Clark's new contract.
This season alone, the Fever attracted over 300,000 fans to their games, the first time any WNBA team has reached such a milestone. Merchandise sales surged by 500% with Clark at the top of the charts. Her jersey is selling out faster than the league can restock. Additionally, viewership increased by an astounding 300%, with 45% of those eyeballs tuning in specifically for Fever games. These statistics aren't just basketball.
All of this is about getting Caitlin Clark's new contract done. They get her contract done, seal, and deliver the future of this organization.
However, this is the issue. The collective bargaining agreement of the WNBA, no matter how much Clark is worth, the Fever is trapped with a system that was created long before a player of her caliber appeared under the current CBA, which caps rookie pay and restricts what teams can offer. Clark may make up to $241,000 at most. That is insignificant in comparison to what she is bringing in. Clark and the league are aware of the Fever, but the regulations are unchanged, so everyone is frantically trying to find answers. According to the information that was released, the Fever is looking into every option to make sure Clark remains in Indianapolis. Innovative rewards. They're thinking about everything from performance bonuses to sponsorship tie-ins, but even these initiatives feel like band-aids on a much larger wound. The league's pay structure is seriously flawed, and Clark's extraordinary success is highlighting how out of date it really is. Not to be overlooked is the economic impact she has had on Indianapolis. According to sources, her presence alone has brought in an estimated $36 million, which is equivalent to hosting significant events like the NC Final Four. Not only is Clark curbing the city's fever, but she's making less than many entry-level corporate jobs. This gap is unavoidable, and it's igniting a long-overdue discourse. When compared to the NBA, Clark's rookie contract, which is worth $338,000 over 4 years, is absurd. Consider Victor Wanyama, the first choice in the 2024 NBA draft, who is making $13 million in his first year alone, nearly 40 times more than Clark will receive in her entire rookie contract. This disparity is startling and raises important questions. The CBA is scheduled to expire in 2025, giving the Fever a limited window to push for changes that would allow them to offer Clark a contract worthy of her contributions. However, change takes time, and time isn't on their side, so the longer this drags on, the greater the risk that Clark could look for other opportunities. How can the WNBA expect to attract and retain top talent when the financial incentives are so limited? Whether it's playing in a competing league abroad or perhaps leaving the WNBA completely, the most astounding thing is the rippling effect. Clark's success isn't just about her, it's about what she stands for women's basketball as a whole. She's demonstrated that there is a market for this sport and that fans will attend and spend money when given the chance. But if the league can't adjust to this new reality, it runs the risk of squandering the momentum she's built. Let's face it, this isn't just a WNBA issue. It's a sports issue. A social issue. The subject of how we value women's sports and the athletes who commit their life to them is fundamental. How can a player who has done so much for her league still make less than the average American household income? Clark's tale is a microcosm of a bigger problem that needs to be addressed right away. The WNBA needs to lock Clark in for the long run, but they're hampered by a system that wasn't built for players like her. The leaked information indicates that they're working tirelessly to find a solution, but the odds are stacked against them. Unless the WNBA is willing to change its pay structure, the Fever could face an uphill battle to keep their star player happy, and that's a risk they can't afford to take. The next few years will be crucial not only for Clark's career but also for the league's trajectory. In addition to being a once-in-a-generation player, Caitlin Clark is a walking brand, a marketing juggernaut, and a shining example of what women's basketball could become. However, given the league's current constraints, it remains to be seen if the WNBA can quickly enough adapt to secure her future, or if it will watch her slip through its fingers. Let's examine why this situation is so urgent. Clark's impact goes well beyond the court. We're talking about a player who has increased league-wide TV viewership by 300%. Fever games alone account for 45% of the WNBA's broadcast value. This isn't just because she's a talented basketball player. Fans will pay to see her because of her captivating style of play, self-assurance, and unmistakable presence. The Fever aren't just depending on her to win games, they are also depending on her to keep the team afloat. In a league where financial difficulties are common, having a player like Clark is a lifeline. But here's the problem. Jersey is constantly sold out and leads league merchandise sales by a wide margin. The Fever is unable to just open their wallets and give her a check for her actual worth. The WNBA's collective bargaining agreement has limited what teams can offer even their most valuable players and capped pay. The leaked information from the Fever's camp shows how frantic they want to keep her, and rumors indicate that they are looking into every legal option to provide Clark with incentives that would justify her stay. Bonuses for performance. Equity in the endorsement of the team. Collaborations. All of these options are there, but they might not be sufficient. The league itself must intervene and alter its regulations if it wants to keep a player of Clark's caliber, and it's not just about Clark. Her predicament serves as a litmus test for the WNBA's future because if it can't find a way to compensate its best players fairly, it runs the risk of losing them to competing leagues or chances abroad. This isn't speculative, it's actually taking place. Players like Diana Taurasi and Breanna Stewart are well known for playing in Europe and Asia during their off-seasons, where they may make much more money than they do in the WNBA. The economic impact of Clark's presence cannot be overstated. Her rookie season brought in $36 million for the city of Indianapolis alone. This includes not only ticket sales but also hotel bookings, restaurant revenue, and local business growth. For a city like Indianapolis that has long taken pride in being a hub for sports, losing Clark would be devastating. You can bet other leagues are closely monitoring this situation and ready to step in if the Fever can't deliver. Both the fans and the WNBA are aware of this. The league has an obligation to both its teams and the communities they represent, and keeping Clark in Indianapolis is essential to sustaining that momentum. But the obstacles. The WNBA's collective bargaining agreement, which is in effect until 2025, caps rookie salaries at $76,535. Even after Clark's rookie contract expires, the maximum salary she could receive under the current regulations is only $241,000, which is far less than her market value. Although endorsement deals can help close the gap, they are insufficient to cover what she is actually worth to the league. This is where the Fever strategy becomes crucial. Despite the shortcomings of the present CBA, the leaked reports indicate that they are already trying to protect her future. Offering Clark a revenue-sharing arrangement in which she would get a portion of the team's earnings is one suspected option. This would be a groundbreaking move for the WNBA and may create a precedent for other teams and players, but even this concept faces substantial obstacles. The league and its owners, a group that hasn't always been quick to embrace change, are reportedly investigating the possibility of a long-term endorsement partnership tied directly to the team. This would allow them to compensate Clark indirectly by partnering with brands that align with her image. It's a creative solution, but it's not without risks. First, it relies on the assumption that brands will continue to see value in associating with the Fever, which is a safe bet as long as Clark has remained focused on her game, avoiding whether it's moving away from basketball to concentrate on her expanding portfolio of sponsorship deals or playing abroad in a competing league. The Fever are aware that Clark has the power to control her own destiny, which is why they are working so hard to lock her in now. However, if they are unable to do so, the consequences would be felt throughout the league. Losing Clark would be a PR nightmare for the WNBA, undermining the progress it has made recently. It would also send a clear message to other players. If the league can't keep its biggest star, what hope is there for anyone else? The WNBA has made a lot of effort to present itself as a respectable professional choice for female athletes, but Clark's circumstances show how far it still needs to go. Perhaps the most annoying thing is that it seems so clear that the league has to change its compensation structure. Simply put, individuals like Clark who have the capacity to take the sport to new heights are being held back by the current structure, which is meant to foster parity and financial stability. By investing in its players, the WNBA might start a positive feedback loop where higher compensation result in improved performance. This is a typical example of short-term thinking impeding long-term growth, viewership, and eventually higher profitability. But change takes time, and time is running out. Not only is Clark's rookie contract expiring, but the league must demonstrate that it can support its stars. The Fever is making every effort to retain her, but they are only able to do so within the limitations of the current system. If the WNBA doesn't step up and make the required changes, they run the risk of losing the very players who could save it. The tale of Caitlin Clark is about more than just basketball. It's about what occurs when talent, marketability, and antiquated processes collide in this tale of opportunity, dissatisfaction with advancement, and resistance. The coming years will be crucial not only for Clark but also for the WNBA as a whole. Regardless of whether the league, the future of women's basketball for years to come will depend on whether they succeed or fail, but one thing is certain. Caitlin CLK, the WNBA is aware of Clark's Fever, and soon the entire sports world will be as well. She is more than simply a player. She is a movement and a force of nature that demands attention.